have to understand what's happening in the world today. Food shortage. Yes. Is there actually one? No. But we're going to be led to fuel shortage. Is there one? Actually one? Is there one? Yes, but in reality, is there actually one? No. Why? Now, if this is a recession that we're going in, if this is really a recession, which it is, how come there isn't more reference being made to 1929, the Depression? You go into a recession, then from there a depression, 1929. Isn't it a coincidence? Now, you know, the occult loves to play with numerology. Numerology is significant to them. It always means something, always means something. 11 is a popular number, 11. 11 is a popular number. Do you know that the Depression of 1929 lasted exactly, it was officially declared to be over, I think it was President Roosevelt, exactly 11 years. Exactly 11 years. And we know that symbol. So I'm thinking about that. Now, the problem is recession, if it goes into a depression, if, and I'm skeptical about that. There's a reason why all this is happening at this particular time that has been outlined in the scriptures. Not all the details, but the events, not all the little details. That's why during the primaries, I said, don't pay attention to those details. Well, it's real simple if you're thinking about it. Panic. The key is to get the masses to panic. My Uncle Fred, you remember I talked about my Uncle Fred? I was very superstitious because I came up like that, believing in I didn't know it was the occult, but I was very superstitious. And we were going, I remember Uncle Fred well. And when we were going by the graveyard, I didn't want to be on the inside of the grave. I wanted to walk on the outside of the curve by the street. And so I was walking with Uncle Fred and it was broad daylight. And when you get near, we call it the graveyard. No, I didn't know what a cemetery was. We called it the graveyard. And I would run around here to the end. And so my Uncle Fred was getting mad because he was responsible for me. He didn't want me to run in the street. I was afraid to walk by the fencing because that was the graveyard. So finally he laid me out and started cursing and carrying on. And called me a fool and so forth. He said, let me tell you something, man. He said, everybody in there is dead. He said, the dead will never be able to hurt you. He said, but they make you hurt yourself. I thought about that. They'll make you hurt yourself. Panic. People have been trampled just through panic. Well, what accelerated, what exasperated, what compound the recession that went into a depression, that everybody started panicking. Yeah. You, I, those that believe in God cannot panic. This period of time is intended to prompt our faith. I'm going to show that to you. Some scriptures. Ephesians chapter 6. And then we're going to go to Matthew chapter 6. Ephesians chapter 6, Matthew chapter 6. You must think. Now, not only is there a fuel shortage and gas prices are going to skyrocket, and they've tried to get Bush to release some of the excessive reserves that we have to take the price down. The food crisis, if that doesn't work, then the threat of war will escalate. And my calculated guess, if that doesn't work, there will be a shortage of water. The water is going to, people all of a sudden, they're going to talk about how contaminated the water is that the people drink. Well, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to know how contaminated the water is that we drink in urban cities, or cities. Give you an example. We're in Waterville, well, this is West Troy. The water reservoir is outside of Albany. I can see the place beginning for A. Alcove, is that what it is? Alcove? I think that's, let's say we're over in Troy. We know that the water supply, the reservoir, is Tom Hannock Reservoir. It's about from downtown Troy, maybe 10, 11, 12 miles. Well, they pump it to a station in North Troy at the end of Northern Boulevard. I think that's, is that what is Northern Drive? They pump the water 8, 9, 10 miles over there, and then they purify it the best that they can with a lot of chlorine and things of that nature, trying to kill all the bacteria. And from there, it comes to our house. So it goes from the reservoir, it goes to the filtration plant, and it gets to your house. Now, how do you suppose it gets to your house? Underground piping. Do you know that the underground piping is about 100 years old? So it is recontaminated. You're better to drink it in the Tom Hannock than to drink it through the piping system that's coming to your house. You ever seen those old pipes? 100-year-old piping? It's contaminated. It's got everything in it. Well, here's the problem. To compound the crisis, they must bring someone, the plants must bring this to the public, the mind of the public. Say, look, the water is contaminated. We have to change the piping. Panic. Everybody runs to the market and place they can just buy water, buy water, buy water. Now, I think that's what they're going to do next because it's an ongoing. Why do you think they sell so many filters and people are drinking? Well, they don't know why they're drinking spring water other than good commercialization. Even, do you know the worst thing for you to do is to take a hot shower with that contaminated water? You know why? It opens up your pores and you're putting all the contaminants that have been in the ground in those pipes for 100 years. Why you have skin problems and skin conditions? Well, it's about panic. And I'm going to show you. You must resist the temptation to panic. Now, complacency is going to compound the problem. The masses, the powers that be, want particularly Americans to stay complacent. You say, why America? Because America is the financial engine of the world. So let the people stay complacent, just like most of you are complacent. You knew that a crisis was coming. I told you back in December when I said that that the farmers did not want to plant soybeans and rice. They wanted to plant corn for fuel. And you did nothing about it. But one thing was sure, to show you how the American public has been lured to sleep. Wait a minute. A food crisis. I know that from 25 to 45%, you could cut your groceries in half easily with a 100 by 200 plot of land. I think it's 100. No, it's not. It's 50 by 50 if you get 2 crops. 50 by 50, I think. Don't quote. It's 50 by 50 or 50 by 75. You can cut your bill, your grocery bill, a minimum of from 25 to 50% easily. Called gardening. You notice there isn't a shortness of gardening tools. Nobody's buying up all the hoes. There's not a shortage of seeds. They're not running out seeds. Rototillers. Nope. Not, you buy a new car, but you won't buy a rototiller. Why? You've been lured to sleep. Why prepare for something like this? You can go right out here, out in Brunswick, Pittsfield, Scattercoat, Cambridge, and you see all that barren land where the farmers can't even afford to work it. And you can go to the farmer and say, you know what, I'll give you $20 for a little piece of plot of land there, if you wanted to do that. But why do anything when the real crisis is not here? We have the signs, we have the indicators. Why worry about it? Wait until it's too late.